This film beautifully navigates the delicate balance between giving viewers what they desire, but also challenging them in unexpected ways, kind of mirroring the characters' own journeys. Just as the story settles in a sense of comfort, a wrench is thrown in, forcing both the characters and the audience to confront new emotions and possibilities. It's such a beautiful reflection of life itself, really. Like life being a series of opportunities, challenges, and moments we must sunset sometimes. I'm curious if in your own personal journeys, how the headspaces of these characters may have shook things up for you in welcoming ways.
Wow. Um,
I think for
well,
me, oh, you go. Sorry.
no, you go first. Definitely you.
I think a lot about the feeling. So when you're going through something in life and you have a feeling about the feeling, like you're judging
Mhm.
yourself for feeling a certain way. There are levels to the pain and the judgment. And for me, one of the things that was so interesting about the character is she does something that she doesn't quite understand. It doesn't make sense for her, and she's judging
Mhm.
herself about what
Yeah.
she actually really wants. And I think that's a very relatable human experience, maybe not her specific situation, but I certainly, um, I felt that deeply. And I oftentimes am doing a lot of work on myself to recognize what is the feeling about the feeling. And if I can get past that, what's actually going on. Uh,
Mm.
if I can, clear through the weeds of shame, um, what's underneath it. Uh,
Right.
so that was something that I loved about the character, and I appreciated how it was crafted and written by Ethan
Mhm.
and directed by Chad.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't know, because my job is sort of to put myself in every character's headspace all the time, and that's the fun and that's the joy, and trying to make sure that I'm always understanding where they're coming from. But just in general, I mean, this script in this movie came to me at a time right after I had personally become a father, and so I felt such a kinship to all the characters, and when you're about to become a parent, you basically feel every emotion at once. I mean,
Yeah.
it's terror, it's excitement, it's doubt, it's self-loathing, it's everything. And so I was able to, I think, really put myself in every character's position because of that.
Speaking
Yeah.
of his children, I don't know if you know this, but the children are his children.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
kids are in the movie. They won't stop talking about it.
They were fantastic.
That's really cool. Well, I guess kind of speaking of things that are putting us in the headspace of the characters for us as the audience, like the film's use of zooms, both in and out, feel like an emotional extension of the character, almost as if the camera itself is breathing alongside them. For instance, when Olivia watches Connor from afar, the zoom beautifully captures the complexity of her emotions, whether it's jealousy, heartbreak, or fleeting joy. Chad, how did you approach deciding which moments warranted uh, a zoom in or a push out to serve as the extension of their emotions?
Well, yeah, definitely case by case. And I worked with a cinematographer named Sing Hao Yam, who was really great. It was our first time working together. And one of the first things we bonded about was, our mutual love for the Zoom, and also wanting to have the film feel timeless, feel like the filmmaking itself felt timeless, and
Mhm.
I feel like Zooms offer that. So it was really just a matter of, yeah, thinking about in the scene, in what are these characters, where are they coming from, what is the dynamic that we're trying to accomplish, are they getting closer together, are they being pulled farther apart in these moments, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's always a discussion, and we want to, our approach is how can we use the camera to support the story at all times, and how can we use it the most we can use it before people start to really notice, because then I feel like you're not doing the job anymore. anymore. So we were always thinking about what can the camera be doing to support, but that still kind of stays in the background.
Yeah, yeah. Well, don't let my observations.
Now
Uh,
that's your job.
yeah, I just like to watch movies very meticulously. But Zoe, Olivia's quick wit and ability to bring levity to even the most serious moments is such a defining trait for her. For example, the scene where she's heading out of state and quips to Connor about making a road trip mix. It's like such a blend, perfect blend of humor and vulnerability. I'm curious how did you approach balancing Olivia's sharp wit with the emotional weight of her journey? And do you think her wit is a defense mechanism or a way of staying grounded in the chaos?
I generally work, I do when this is just how I like to work. I'll do every take will be very, very different from the next. I remember Chad came to me one time and he was like, you do I is this what? And I was like, no, I do it this way so that if you feel like in the edit you need her to be this or that or whatever, you can kind of craft it however you'd like, especially with a character who is a little bit more prickly. I don't want to shy away from that part of her, but I also don't know how you were going to put this movie together. And I want to give the option of maybe a little bit more vulnerability, a little bit more sweetness, a little bit more humor, a little bit more um stillness, a little bit more chaos. I want to give you all of that so that you can calibrate it as the filmmaker how you see fit. So I try to just throw it all against the wall and see what sticks. I mean, of course, in pre-production, in my preparation, there was I broke down the character and the story in the way that I felt made the most sense to me. But then on the day, you sort of throw that all away, and I wanted him to have options.
Which was a real gift because even I don't necessarily know the exact tenor that we want each moment to play until you really get in there. And so I did go to Zoe on, I think, day 2, and I was like, hey, I mean, I noticed that you're doing all these different things and I'm gratefully accepting. I just want to make sure that you don't feel like you're giving a schizophrenic performance because there's no director here telling you what to do. And she was like, no, this is how I like to do it. And I was like, great, this is going to be perfect. And so, yeah, I mean, you really could edit the movie, that character a bunch of different ways because of the variations that we played on set.
It was never important for me. I feel this way in general. It's not important for me when I'm putting it together, this character together, if you like her. I don't that I wasn't concerned about that, but I wanted you to understand where she was coming from. I wanted you to feel her. Yeah. And perception is a funny thing, right? How we are perceived is that's complicated, and you don't always know how you're being perceived. That's why the director-actor relationship is so sacred and important. And so I kind of I left it to him to calibrate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel like the comedic chaos is what made the film so fun. Like, I guess speaking of your kids, Chad, like the babies, Connor and Olivia babysitting together for the first time and using like headbanging punk rock music, which I feel like is the perfect metaphor for overwhelming, messy energy of the moment. So I think it all worked out.
Yeah. Fun little fact is that the temp music we used on that scene was a Sugar Ray song from their first album, which is like hardcore metal.
Yeah, oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be a fun inside joke. If there was going to be one person that sees the movie and is like, "What's that cool metal band?" and then looks it up and it was Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray, yeah.
But
Yeah.
couldn't afford it. Couldn't afford the Sugar Ray.
Another fun fact is that Jonah had never been to Target. I promise there's a point to this. And because there are no Targets in London. And so we were in Arkansas shooting and I was like, let's go to Target. So we go to Target and I had a sneaking suspicion that there might be a doll of him because he's the prince. So I went down the aisle and I got a Jonah doll, a Prince doll. And I was very excited about it. And I was parading it around Target and he was really embarrassed. And then we brought that to set and Chad's kids started throwing the Jonah Prince doll and smashing it. So that's another really important fun fact about the kids scene.
Yeah, if you watch closely, my daughter is smashing Jonah's doll with a baseball bat.
Yeah, little fun Easter egg. I'm not sure Disney would love that, but